The hype for Avatar's live action doesn't stop, and Netflix knows it. Yesterday, November 14th, there were exactly 100 days until the series premieres, so they released a mini spot where we can see new things. That's why in this video we are going to do an analysis of this little clip and answer some questions that I've been asked very often on the channel regarding the next premiere that we will have of this universe, such as why haven't we seen Toph yet? Yesterday, Netflix published on its Twitter account, 100 years have passed, 100 days left, promoting the premiere on February 22nd, 2024, with a 17-second video where we have some characters from the series with background music that perhaps it may be a fragment of a song from the soundtrack, which by the way will be released in 2 days and we will surely be able to listen to it on Spotify. We have a fabric-like background, similar to what we saw in the series logo, which will change color as the characters pass by. We start with Aang running, leaving a trail of air. Here I would like to clarify what I hope for the tone of the trailer to do a good job with special effects when using Aang's super speed as an airbender, since there is a fine line where this speed becomes cartoonized. For example, in this case, it doesn't look serious at all, and that's fine. It's understandable since it seems to be a spot without much budget just to maintain the public's hype. We continue with Katara, this time seeing her in full body, which I think looks pretty good. We can notice that the designs that I didn't like at all in the first image that came out are quite disguised. The most important thing we have here is that we have the water-bending gestures, which I didn't like when I saw it for the first time, but repeating it over and over again shows the fluidity of the movement, like the movements of the feet and body in general. I think we just need a few more seconds to see this choreography well, but it's not bad at all. We continue with Sokka, also for the first time at 100% full body, her clothes looking much better than Katara's for my taste, and using her good boomerang. The cutscenes remind me of doing combos in Avatar Generations. A Netflix detail, if you were going to show us Sokka's boomerang, let him throw it, not keep it in his hand. Because we realize it. We continue with Izuko, perhaps who else could show off in a scene like this, but making only a gesture, which is why, again I repeat, this is something more for the fans than to advertise something on a large scale. I think the biggest contribution to take from this scene is to see Zuko's scar in more detail, since I thought the armor looks better, but comparing it with the photos, we only have better lighting. The scar looks with a well-made texture, and having a front view of the character, it is more noticeable if we compare it with the size of his face. That is to say, well, it stands out a little more seen from this angle, which many of us complain about. Also, we have an Uncle Iroh having tea, also seeing his full bodysuit this time. Nothing to say, I still think he looks excellent. And finally, an Aang, where also the only detail to notice is a little closer the drawing of his arrow, and that he has big ears.
Look at those things! Do herds of animals use them for shade?
This mini teaser is something interesting to see, added to give us a little more information and details of what we will see. To which they added a poster with a better definition in which we can notice an image of the air temple. I would risk saying that it is the one in the south, and it is the first one we see in the series, but it does not have this enormous tower, so we will leave it alone in the air temple. Speaking of info, I will quickly answer 3 questions that many were asking in the channel, perhaps the most important and most asked of all. Why isn't Toph here? For some, it will be obvious. For others, it won't. That's why they ask. Toph only appears in the 2nd season. And yes, I know what you'll tell me, but Mai and Ty Lee also appear in the 2nd season. Yes, it's true. We just have a small cameo from Azula, and in this cameo, they decided to put Mai and Ty Lee behind during this 1st season. I would hope to have a surprise post-credits scene at the end of the season with Toph, and there is no type of rumor or news that seems to mention this in which they mention this. But, and there is a big but, months before the first photos, we had this little clip with Toph's uniform made by Netflix live-action workers. Why would they have the uniform if they didn't make her appear? Well, for those who didn't know, this video was theoretically made as a hobby by the program's team of martial arts specialists. This was simply a concept, without any final touches and made in the employees' free time. So no, don't worry, earthbending won't look like this, but it at least gives us the clue that they already have Toph's uniform, and a little hope that it will come out. Who is the director? Well, the program has several directors, 4 in total, who will direct 2 episodes each. But if we should define only one as the main one, it is Michael Goy, who is also the showrunner. That is, who directs the entire course of the project from its conception to post-production. He will be 100% involved in everything. Michael was director of photography on many series such as American Horror Story, Scream Queens, Salem, Glee, The Mentalist, among many others. So don't worry, it's not Shyamalan, and it has nothing to do with the previous live-action project which does not exist. Another question was the complaint that Sokka and Katara are white. Again, well, to begin with, they are not blonde. On the other hand, they are both descendants of Native Americans. Who plays Katara of the Mohawk and previously acted as someone from the Micmac tribe, and who plays Sokka in theory, and I say in theory because I'm not sure of the source, is a descendant of the Cherokee tribe. Anyway, they do have. You can leave this information for me in comments. We will be seeing each other these days with more news. Goodbye.